place.
From ITN, the ITV Nightly News with Dermot Monaghan.
Good evening. Detectives hunting Jill Dando's murderer were tonight hoping to build up a photo-fit picture of the killer. They're taking statements from witnesses who saw the suspect, a well-dressed man, first spotted outside Miss Dando's house an hour before she was gunned down on her doorstep. The police appealed to the underworld for help in tracing the murder weapon, a 9mm semi-automatic, but said they were considering every possible motive. Sue Saville reports.
The police forensic teams are working late tonight, scouring the scene of the murder for the tiniest piece of evidence that might prove vital. The next step will be to compile a photo fit of the main suspect from witness statements. It's been an urgent hunt for the gun used to shoot Jill Dando. The police are checking every place where the weapon could have been discarded before they can reopen the road. They've been searching high and low, so far in vain. Witnesses indicate the killer could have been waiting outside Jill Dando's house for an hour before she returned, when he shot her once at close range. The police say the gun used was a 9mm semi-automatic pistol like this one. They appealed for new information about a man seen running away.
What did that man do afterwards? Has he been missing from work yesterday? Has he been missing from home? Did he return home in an agitated, sweating state? Somebody must know him.
Among the suggested motives for Jill Dando's murder is that her appeal on behalf of Kosovan refugees led to Serbian retaliation.
Well, the one word that comes to mind immediately is terrorism. That's how it seems to me. I think once the police have eliminated all the usual routes, which is going to be somebody who knows or somebody who knew her movements very well, once they've eliminated that, they may be left with only that route to go down.
Simon Basil, a former boyfriend of Jill Dando, doesn't believe it was a contract killing.
That's all speculative at the moment. Yeah. It's up to police to make the investigations. Yeah.
The investigation here has meant some disruption to the lives of local residents, but they say they don't mind. All they want is for Jill Dando's killer to be found and brought to justice.
She was a very good neighbour, and it is a very shocking thing. It's so brutal.
Nobody I have spoken to has heard a gunshot. There must have been a silencer.
Dozens of bouquets of flowers have been brought to Jill Dando's home. Colleague Nick Ross wrote, "Sleep well," just as Jill herself signed off at the end of each Crime Watch programme. Sue Saville, ITN, West London.
Sue, you're at the scene now. What's happening at the moment?
Well, tonight the latest is that the scene of the crime is still sealed off behind me here under the white tarpaulins there, under the lights. There's no forensic work going on right now. That will resume in the morning. And of course the police must make sure they've checked everything thoroughly for any evidence at all before they can unseal not only the scene of the crime but also the rest of the road. And tonight residents and locals here have been coming up to lay more flowers and to put out candles at the house opposite Jill Dando's to pay their respects here.
And Sue, what can you tell us about progress on assembling a photo fit of the suspect?
Well, we do know that that process is underway. They're compiling this photo fit or electronic fit, e-fit, with computers. They're looking through all the witness statements and coordinating those. We understand there are still some witness statements to go. The police have said they don't want to rush out that picture. They must get it right. We know, of course, that it's likely to indicate that it was a white man they're looking for, dark hair, a man in his late 30s or 40s, possibly wearing dark glasses and carrying a mobile phone. And as soon as they get that picture out and into the public, they're hoping very much that that's going to be able to jog people's minds even further. And a source has tonight told us that it's possible that picture might even be ready as early as tomorrow.
Sue, thanks a lot. In the Kosovo conflict, the American NATO commander, General Wesley Clark, said today that the attacks on Yugoslavia so far, already totaling nearly 500, were only a fraction of what was to come. He said the noose was tightening. Robert Moore reports.
As NATO troops continue to train in Albania for their uncertain mission, the alliance's top commander has warned Belgrade that the air bombardment so far is only a fraction of what is to come. The Apache helicopter force has been deployed but not sent into combat, and one has already crashed. The immediate aftermath was filmed through a night sight. The fireball as it caught fire, and then the shouts of soldiers trying to clear the area.
We got the guys, let's go! Take your time, let me go down front, okay? Everybody off this hill, let's go, off the hill, sir!
The crew escaped, and the Americans have insisted it will not affect the Apache mission. NATO's Supreme Commander said that following the NATO summit, the bombing would be intensified. He refused to say how long it would be before Milosevic capitulated.
I can't give you a prediction on how long he's going to endure this kind of punishment. The noose around Yugoslavia, as it continues its inhumane policies in Kosovo, is tightening.
Much of the emphasis is now on destroying bridges and supply routes to try and isolate Serb forces in Kosovo. And ammunition depots are another key target. But as that military campaign is waged, there is no end to the human anguish. Macedonia was today the scene of a fresh influx of exhausted and desperate Kosovar Albanians. These people brought with them the same revelations of Serb atrocities, and they said there are many others seeking to escape, but still trapped inside the shattered province. Robert Moore, ITN.
One of the key missions for NATO aircraft overnight was to follow up last week's attack on the main television station in Belgrade. Early today, they scored a direct hit and this time left the TV transmitter a mass of crumpled metal on top of a presidential tower block. The building had been the headquarters of President Milosevic's Socialist Party, but it's unclear what long-term damage was done. Yugoslav TV continued to be broadcast and today showed President Milosevic out on a rare public appearance. More British troops and armour landed in northern Greece today. They'll be travelling up to Macedonia and the Kosovo border under cover of darkness because most ordinary Greeks, despite their membership of NATO, are against its war with the Serbs. ITN's Colin Baker reports.
The British commitment in the Balkans strengthens almost daily. RAF planes flew into Greece today, bringing 320 more troops, part of the second battle group, and described by one officer as confident and eager to get the job done. And therein is the problem. No one has yet defined what the precise job is, other than the inevitability now that one day these soldiers will be inside Kosovo. In the seaport a few miles away, a convoy stretching 1.5 miles long had been squeezed on board a Royal Fleet auxiliary ship which had taken 10 days to get here from Britain. This is part of KFOR, the Kosovo force, and includes a reconnaissance squadron from the Household Cavalry trained to operate ahead of frontline troops and also bridge-laying equipment. The signals to Belgrade would seem clear. It's the nature of the job that soldiers expect a hostile environment, but perhaps not from an ally and fellow NATO member like Greece. Yet such is the strength of anti-NATO sentiment on the streets here, that any further movement by these troops towards Macedonia and the Kosovo border will now have to take place under cover of darkness. So before tomorrow's daylight, these troops will be in Macedonia. Colin Baker, ITN, Thessalonica.
Tesco today